It's the 19th of Jan. Sarah Gorrell's going to be on from 10. We're going to find out what Sarah's going to be doing on her show in a wee while. If you go online, you can read more about this story about people who live and work on a road in Godalming, saying their lives have been made a misery by floodwater every time it rains heavily. We're talking about Wey Court in Farncombe, where Wey Court Lake is how they describe it. Residents say they regularly experience flooding. It's getting worse. Our man Adrian Harms has been to have a look.
Well, James, I'm standing in Wey Court. This is an area pretty much behind Godalming Football Club, and an area where the residents have been complaining here is continually flooded when it rains. Now, it's absolutely pouring with rain, as you could probably hear, but I'm sploshing around here. There's a huge puddle right across the road. I'm sort of paddling around, you'll probably hear, in probably 3 to 4 inches of water.
Well, Pauline Cheeseman owns Little Ray's preschool on Wey Court and has been describing how it impacts her business as well as the children and parents.
Parents can't walk and drop their children off. We have to walk across and carry them across, which was extremely dangerous when it was iced up. It's lapping at our doors. It's just extremely difficult, and it's causing us a lot of issues. People can't park in the car park because obviously they can't get out their cars in the big puddle, and it's dangerous to carry the children across.
Can you describe how deep that puddle is that you're wading through then?
At times it goes over your wellies.
Right, oh God, it's properly bad then. And has there been anything going on to try and address it all?
Yeah, they keep pumping it away. They've been here over the weekend and it's gone for the moment. But every time it heavily rains, it just fills back up again and nobody seems to be able to clear the drain. It seems to be a drain issue, but nobody seems to be doing anything about the drains. They just come along and pump the water away, which isn't fixing it. It's just coping with it at the time.
Well, let's bring in Paul Follows and let's catch up with him, leader of Waverley Borough Council. Paul, good to see you. Morning.
Good morning.
Here we go again, another interesting story. And I know that Thames Water are involved in this, but remind us why Wey Court has got these problems with floodwater, and it's every time it rains.
Well, that's actually been one of the issues in the first place, trying to get Thames Water to admit that there's an issue, to investigate what that issue is and make some proposals about what to do about it. I mean, this is not new at Wey Court. The vast majority of the people in that area are Waverley Borough Council tenants, so they're Waverley-owned properties. There's also 2 nurseries and the football club who've been repeatedly under this sort of floodwater. And, of course, whenever it gets cold as well, it then freezes. I'm particularly pleased that we finally got Thames Water to actually do the investigation and show that it is in fact, unsurprising to anybody in Godalming whatsoever, that it is in fact the Thames Water infrastructure that's the issue, and so now we might possibly have a solution going forward.
Right, so what have they done this weekend? What do you know?
So over the last couple of weeks, myself and my other councillors have been putting pressure on Thames Water to actually do the investigation works, which we've been asking for some months. They sent a team round last week who we met on site, who have been basically testing the various manhole covers and drains that run right across Mead Row and the Guildford Road. They have, unsurprisingly, established that there are several blockages in the drains, which they have then sought to redress. After Surrey denied them a permit in the first instance to do the works, we managed to get through that little barrier as well so that Thames could crack on over the weekend.
Right. So is there much businesses being impacted about this have said to you about trying to get some compensation? And also you said Waverley own the buildings.
So quite a few of the buildings in there are Waverley owned and managed properties. We know that residents have had damage from the water. We know that Waverley property has been damaged from the water, and we know that at least 2 businesses, the 2 nurseries and of course the football club, are likely to have also had damage or people being able to unable to access those businesses. I am now very sure, and have it in writing, that this is a Thames Water matter, as we long suspected it was, and so once this is resolved, I will on behalf of those residents be speaking to the consumer water watchdogs and also seeking compensation from Thames Water.
Right, we heard from Pauline a few moments ago, and in a way you've sort of preempted this, but she feels that Thames Water aren't fixing the actual problem and are instead just dealing with the consequences. Do you think there might be a flip on that now?
So actually, one of the things that they've been doing, knowing that it's raining a lot this last couple of weeks, we've had them put the tankers there. I mean, they've been having night and day shifts with tankers because at the end of the day, it needs to be as accessible as possible. We also knew from Thames Water that the works wouldn't be done in a night. In fact, they were supposed to originally start Sunday. We got them to start Friday. We're hoping that when they do the testing of it today, that these things will be cleared. But I think it's been prudent to get the tankers there on standby just in case, considering the rain hasn't let up.
Right, OK. Well, look, we might have a further update as the week sort of progresses, and I suppose everyone there must be just looking at the blinking weather forecast all the time, worried.
Every single one there, we're looking at that. I'm down there almost every other day at the moment to see what's going on, and I'll be talking to Thames Water and residents later today with what updates I get.
All right, now we did ask Thames Water to comment. It gave us this statement. We recognise the serious impact that surface water flooding has on residents and customers. Flooding in areas that are susceptible to floods like Godalming involves rivers, and surface water can be complex. That's why we continue to closely work with multiple organisations who are responsible for flooding, such as local authorities, to respond to incidents and mitigate future risks. That's what they've said. You can read more on the story right now at bbc.co.uk/Surrey. Paul, whilst you're here, I've got to ask you, we're heading towards the unitaries in a couple of weeks, and this means all Waverley won't exist. How are things going? What are your thoughts on it? Now, I know you weren't in support of the whole idea, by the way.
No, indeed not. And obviously we met as all the council leaders this week for the first time to start working this out. And one of the things my colleagues and I have secured is a proper financial baseline being done, because surprisingly, nobody seems to have properly done this. And my concern is the level of debt in the West is going to be extremely problematic. And so I will be working with my colleagues to get the government to recognise the scale of these issues that both Conservatives at Surrey and also when they ran some of these boroughs have inflicted upon us all, to try and get something done about this before West Surrey forms.
OK. You're a Lib Dem. We should throw that in there, just in case anyone just wondered. Paul, thanks